I play my guitar, is that all right? I'm gonna jump into it hot and heavy. This one's called Ian's.
The feeling that you get being on stage in front of any number of people, and the more the merrier, the better. The more energy that you'll exchange with the audience, and it really charges you up. You walk off stage feeling electrified, like your whole body is on fire, and it's the best feeling in the world.
Oh, love was long gone by dawn, and they didn't have much to say.
Yeah, we have fans. We have loyal, beloved fans who come out to all of our shows, but it's like, you know, it's maybe 30 people. At the same time, playing for those 30 people will always be far more important to me than playing for the next 3,000.
It just feels like you're doing the right thing with your music when you're playing live. And that is, it's more or less like an addiction. It becomes kind of like a heroin fix.
My name is Adam Isaac, and I'm a rock and roller. My parents were very adamant on me trying a lot of different things as a kid, and so unfortunately, my first instrument I didn't like so much, and that was the piano. I developed an interest in playing guitar, and my parents said, okay, you know, judging by the way piano went, go across the street and ask the neighbor if you could borrow his. So I borrowed it and never stopped playing.
First instrument that I played, it started in like grade 3 or 4, was the trumpet. And I played that in my school band. From that point forward, I kind of took up the guitar. I had been dabbling in it a little bit in grade 8, and I didn't really take much interest in it. And then when I started to see what other people were doing with it, I really got intrigued from there.
My name is Benjamin Paul Lang, and I'm 20 years old. I go by Old Beller on the internet. I play a lot of different instruments. Right now I mainly play guitar. I also started with bass around 10 years ago now. One thing that draws me to performing live is just the sense of community that you get while like out at a show or whatever.
That's why playing live is such an incredible thing, because when you're there and you're actually playing and you're looking at people in the eye, that connection is one of the most intense connections that I have in my life. It's such a wonderful thing.
Performing as an independent musician is the kind of thing where you actually have to like go out of your way to set it up. At the beginning of the month, if I don't say to myself, I'm gonna play here, I'm gonna play here, and I'm gonna play here, I'm not gonna do it. I actually have to email these people and do it myself. One, not necessarily terrible experience that I had, but one kind of more of an awakening in terms of performing for me. It was one of my first shows that I played with a band I used to be playing in, and the manager of the club, he said that he wasn't actually going to pay us anything. He was just going to pay us in French fries that night, and he gave us one plate of French fries. It wasn't even that big. And it was supposed to be shared amongst the 4 of us. And I mean, none of us had ever experienced anything like that. We were all just like 15 years old and eating French fries, and it was fine because, I mean, we don't have jobs, you know, like you have to eat somehow. But it was eye-opening to see that people can, I don't want to say disrespect musicians, but just not realize that what we do is a job, you know?
Showing up to the venue and having nobody in there but the bartender and your bandmates, and just having one guy probably drunk and 50 years old with no interest in us sitting at the bar, and you got to put a show on for those 2 people, and it's tough to get over at first, but when you look in your bandmates' eyes and you see the fire that you guys have already created so many times in the basement and on stage elsewhere, it's definitely an encouraging force for performance.
Everything is kind of made a little bit easier once you're on the other side of the stage, you know, where you can see the crowd and you can kind of gauge who all is there, and you know, kind of find a point in the crowd where you can look at and feel comfortable. The nerves tend to dissipate pretty quickly once you hit the stage.
You could probably argue that being a musician right now is more social media and marketing than actually creating music. I find a lot of people think that they need to get like a social media director or whatever and do that before they start making a SoundCloud or a Facebook or a Twitter or whatever. You have to just say, I'm gonna be a musician, I'm gonna be on Facebook, and then you have to start doing it, and then just put out your updates, and people will start flocking to it.
Facebook, Instagram, things like that work really well. Just like running like giveaways and things like that on your page. Giving people reason to want to share your music is really important.
I think social media is really good for posting your videos or your music or hyping up your next concert, but I don't necessarily think it's the same connection that is created when you're playing live for somebody. People can connect with you through listening to your song and feel that connection, but you're not connecting to that person at the time.
It demystifies artists. Back in the 70s when rock stars were gods and you have no idea how they got that good at guitar, and I mean it's just a complete mystery. All these random people who happen to get together and make music. It's not like that anymore. You can actually see that artists are human beings just like everybody else who has Twitter.
Digital distribution it's a necessary thing now, I think, and I'm not in favor of every platform, but I am in favor of some.
They don't pay artists anywhere near as much as they should. Like for each time that you play a song on Spotify, the artist that you're listening to gets like a fraction of a cent. It's really not much money, but as soon as that's fixed, I think that those services are perfectly fine and just like any other service where you would be able to get music from.
Services like Bandcamp are great. You can put your electronic profile up and people can hear your music and see what you guys look like and read your message.
It's a great operating platform that really favors the musician, favors putting money in their pocket.
I think it creates synergy between artists because like you'll be able to go into like the folk music section, click on a bunch of different folk artists that you like, send them a message, and then you're seeing the community unfold around you with your music as kind of your home base.
Sometimes people will pay a lot of money for your music, be it at like $5 or $10. They'll pay more than that if they have the option to. I once had someone pay $45 for my EP, which made my jaw immediately hit the floor. Being an independent musician is better than it's ever been as well, because of the access to resources that we have that, we don't need a label to gain access to, like studios, etc.
Now, with this many digital distribution platforms, I think there's just more music than there has ever been in our whole recorded history of the world, and that's incredible. And people who don't realize that, or who say they don't listen to music or whatever, I mean, it's just really actually ignorant to all the beautiful music that's being created all over the world that you can hear with your computer and a pair of speakers. I mean, that's beautiful, really.
It's kind of weird. I've been coming to this venue for so many years to see so many amazing bands that like being on this stage is like I haven't actually processed the fact that it just happened. I'll probably figure it out tomorrow. The adrenaline was really high and the crowd was absolutely incredible, and I mean, you really couldn't want for anything more than that whole experience, you know what I mean?